Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We want to welcome all of you who are with us and let you know a little bit about this format this evening. This is a live webinar that we are recording, as we shared with you earlier. Unfortunately, it's not interactive, so we will not be able to see your smiling faces. And we're sad about that, but we are feeling your presence here, and we are super, super excited to welcome your students back to school. If you have any questions that come up tonight, would you please type them into the Q&A or the chat feature so that we can follow up with you and provide those answers to everybody after this evening. Thank you also for the questions that you sent to us in advance. We will provide those answers, kind of incorporate them into our presentation tonight. And of course, as always, just keep in touch with us as new questions arise. So we are, as I mentioned, very excited to welcome your students back to the 2021-22 school year. My name is Lissa Wade, and my co-head, who you will hear from in just a few minutes, is Kristen Gary. And we thought we would start out by introducing ourselves and helping you know a little more about how we came into these roles. So Kristen will advance that slide, and we'll tell you a little bit about how it got started. So these are pictures. We're bearing it all here, everybody. We are sharing some vulnerable moments with you by revealing to you some middle school images of the two of us in all of our glory and awkwardness. And for me on the right, that's a last day of 5th grade. Clearly, I was part of the safety patrol. And I just think about these pictures that our parents clearly took of us, and I wonder what they were thinking in those moments about us and their hopes and dreams for us and our education and our eventual adulthood and what we would become. So this is how we got started in middle school, and now we're going to show you a little bit about how it's going. Kristen and I started at Wellington 10 years ago. And so we share that bond together, and we began as teachers, Kristen teaching science and I teaching French. And last year, during what was already a very challenging year, we were asked to take on a new challenge. And what we found out in this new leadership role is not only was it very challenging, but we really loved it. And that is what we hope for our students too, that they find challenge and that they find that they love it. And that is that wonderful moment, that nexus of true engagement. So we hope for that for your students this year. That's always our hope, is that they are highly engaged in what they're doing, and we are really excited to model that for them. We will both continue to be teaching this year. Kristen will be teaching some 5th grade science, and I will be teaching some 5th grade French, in addition to sharing our administrative duties. So please do be in touch with both or either of us whenever you have a need to reach out to us. If you send it to both of us, one of us will respond, or we just divide and conquer in that way, but we wanted you to know that. Tonight, we're going to share with you lots and lots of details, but we continue to point back to the email that you received last Friday with lots of information to process. And we will highlight some of those items and reiterate some important dates and procedures so that you have a clearer picture of how we are going to return to school safely very soon. And I'll turn it over to Kristen next to share more about our schedule.
All right, my apologies. Hi, everyone. Now I'm sure you can hear me. I am so sorry about that. This is our typical A through D day schedule. This is the schedule that we follow on a typical day here at school. Um, Your child is going to start every single day with an advisory check-in. This is with their advisor. The advisor will take attendance, check and see their kind of goals for the day. And sometimes we are having a morning meeting that is the whole middle school. Sometimes it is a morning meeting that is just with the grade level, and sometimes it's just that small advisory group. Really just different connections throughout the middle school. Following that advisory check-in and morning meeting, we go to 5 different periods throughout the day. You can see that they are broken up. So we have first and second period in the morning, and those are about 55 minutes long. And that is where students can go to language arts, math, science, performing arts, PE, just to name a few. They go to their first 2 periods, and then they have a morning break or a brain break, as you may have heard it called in lower school. This is a chance for them to make connections with their friends. They can have a snack, and we try to get them outside and get some fresh air as much as possible. Following that morning break, we head to 3rd period, and then we have what is called supervised study. This is very similar to something you probably had when you were in school, like a study hall. The special thing about this supervised study is that every student in the middle school has it at the same time. And therefore, every teacher has it at the same time. So if your son or daughter needs to go talk to a teacher to ask questions, all of those teachers are available to meet. This is about 30 minutes, and that is built into their schedule every single day for that continuity. Then we have lunch and recess, another chance to connect with their peers and also to eat with their advisor. We organize our dining room by advisory group so that there can be that continued connection throughout the day. Then the students go to 4th and 5th period. And then at the end of the day, we have a short 10 minutes of advisory checkout. This is a chance for the students in the advisory to compare notes about what they have for homework. Maybe they want to pull out their planner and write in their planner, and just a great way to end the day so that the advisor can send them on their way. On weeks that we have 5 days, we have this year what is called a leap day. These typically are on Wednesdays. So if it's a 5-day week, we would have A and B days, and then a leap day, and then C and D for Thursday and Friday. These leap days are somewhat similar to the flex days that we had last year, but flex for us stood for flexible. And these were an optional on-campus experience. It was something we really needed in that COVID year. It was a kind of breath in the middle of the day. It also allowed us to do dives when we were not able to mix grade levels. And so having that option to be on campus allowed us to still mix grades, but not disrupt our cohorts. This year, students will be back on campus. We will begin the same way we do any other day with a morning meeting and an advisory flex. And then there's about a 2-hour block in dark blue that's called extension. This is a chance for the students to really extend on what they're doing in the A through D days. The focus of these, or the primary focus, is going to be math and language arts. A chance for those that need a little bit more support to get that support, and for those that need help extending to be able to extend. Students will go to a variety of different kind of rotations, and each grade level is working to plan those with their grade level specific needs in mind. So you will hear much more about extension. Then we have a recess, and then from 10:55 to 11:50, we have advisory. This is a chance, for us to work on our social emotional curriculum. We also work on executive functioning, character strengthening skills, and all of those are really kind of tailored to the students. A lot of times you'll find advisory lessons that are made to fit what's going on in the culture of the school at the time. So those will morph from week to week, and we will always keep you updated on what is happening in advisory in our weekly emails, which you'll hear more about in just a little bit. Then we will go into a time for clubs in the middle school, and we have a wide range of clubs. We encourage them to try new clubs, to explore new interests. It's a great way to interact with an affinity group or to pursue leadership roles. Some of the most recently active ones are the Boys of Color and the Girls of Color. We have a group called 8th Grade Leaders. There is a group called A Foot in Two Places, which is for anyone that identifies as being in more than one culture or ethnicity. We have a chess club, student advisory board, math competitions, art club, literary magazine, just to name a few. Then we go to lunch and recess, just like on a typical day, and then we end our day with 2 of our dive classes, and you probably have heard a little bit about them. Our students this year will take 4 different dives throughout the year, 2 at the beginning of the year, and then 2 at the end of the year. And you will be getting lots of information that first day of school about dives. Students are going to be learning about all of their options on that first day. And then they will be sending or bringing home a permission slip for you to discuss with your child, all of their different options, and then signing off that you agree with their choices. There are options ranging from the science of cooking to a poetry dive and so on. And all of our LEAP Day is really designed around what you see on the right. So LEAP is a group of Jaguars. So that is us, but also it stands for Learning, Exploration, and Projects. So as we were designing our LEAP Days this year, we kept that acronym in mind because we want this to be an opportunity to really extend on the classes that they're doing, explore new things, deepen their understanding. And then again, we'll end the day with an advisory checkout. Some back to school dates and things that are coming up. We have some school policies and all of the forms that are due on August 20th. This is where you will also opt whether you are learning on campus or from home. And even though it says learning from home opt-in, you can also go in there and opt out of learning from home, which tells us that yes, you have seen the forms and yes, you would like your child to be on campus. Included in those forms is also the dietary restriction form, the medication forms, so please make sure you're logging into Veracross and checking all of those out. On August 22nd, we have our Welcome to Wellington and also our Welcome Back to Wellington event. That is an opportunity for families to come on campus, kind of start setting up your locker, meeting your advisor. How that day is structured is the first part is for new families to Wellington. So that is the Welcome to Wellington. That is from 1 to 2. We will meet on Roberts Field to begin. You will hear from Dr. Turwin as well as from Madame Wade and I. And then we will, excuse me, head inside where you'll get to meet your child's advisor, start working on that locker, and really kind of just getting a feel for the school and in the hallway. Then at 2 o'clock, returning families are welcomed into the building. We're trying to keep kind of the 2 groups a little separated just to cut down on crowds and things like that. So that's the difference in the times. But regardless, starting at 1:30, we will also have frozen treats outside of the rotunda. So please make sure on your way out or on your way in that you're swinging by the rotunda. During that day, we will also have opportunities for those that are new to strings and band. To get fitted for a strings instrument, to try out different band instruments. I mean, if you're not able to make it on the 22nd, Miss Butler, our strings teacher, and Mr. Becker, our band director, they will make plans during either the new student orientation or during that first week of school to work with your child one-on-one. On the 23rd and the 24th, we will have intake conferences. This is a chance for you to connect with your child's advisor. They will have a list of questions just to really help them get to know your child before school starts. It's a great way to kind of set up that connection, and those can be virtual or in person. So you will be hearing from your advisor or your child's advisor kind of mid next week. And then on the 24th, we have 5th grade and new student orientation. You will head in through the rotunda, and then all of the students will head to the JAG Commons, and all the teachers will be there to greet them. Any parents who are interested can head up to the middle school commons, which is right up the stairs from the rotunda. Ms. Frim will be there to do a Veracross training with you. So if you are new to Wellington, I highly recommend going to the Veracross training. It is very helpful in figuring out how to put attendance in and where to find interim reports and grades and comments and all of those things. If you're still a little iffy on Veracross and you are a returning family, you are always welcome to attend that as well. I guarantee it will be very helpful. And then the 25th is that first day of school. We are very, very excited to have your child here on campus. Please make sure that you check out the car line map that was included in all of your new parent information or on our website. We are going to continue dropping off in the back parking lot, which is near the tennis courts. So if you come in the main entrance, you're going to drive straight. And then right before the tennis courts, you're going to take that right and kind of follow the curb along. That's where drop off will be in the morning. That is where you will also pick up at the end of the day. Morning meeting starts at 8:25. So your child can arrive anytime between 7:45 and 8:25. If they arrive before 8 o'clock, they will head to our JAG Commons and there will be a teacher there to greet them. Between 8 and 8:25, they can head straight to their advisor's room where their advisor will do attendance and kind of get the day started. Dismissal, again, is in the back parking lot at 3:15. And then for this year for aftercare, if you would like to sign up for aftercare, it is for 5th through 8th graders. You will do that on Veracross. There is a large orange button in the top right corner, and that is where you will opt into aftercare. Aftercare will include a snack, a recess, and then supervision by 2 of our middle school teachers. There is a $10 fee per day, and that will be billed through Veracross. So please look there. And again, if you have any questions about the wealth of information we have given you, please don't hesitate to reach out. And now I will turn it back over to Lissa Wade.
Thank you, Kristen, for the reminders about the back to school dates. I'm next going to address some of the nuts and bolts related to really the logistics of our day, and some of these topics that you see listed here were also questions that you supplied to us in advance of tonight. So thank you for those again. I'll start with masks, the very obvious one, and what you can see here on the right is a picture of 2 now 6th graders who were sporting their Spirit, I think they were going as commercials. I think this was commercial and meme day last year during a Spirit Week. I think you can see that they're smiling. I know that you can't see their mouths, but we were confident that they were very happy. They were certainly very spirited that day. And the message here is that for those of you, especially who are new to our community, we wore masks every day last year, 5 days a week, and these students didn't miss a trick. They did not miss a beat. And we were really just delighted by how they adapted to this new routine. Everyone adjusted to it in really no time at all. One of the questions that was asked was, why are we requiring masks for vaccinated students? And I want to just be very clear about that answer with you and help you understand that our COVID task force with the guidance from our medical subcommittee, they're constantly evaluating our levels of safety here. And you probably are well aware that much of our middle school population is under the age of 12 and unable to receive the vaccine at this time. So our goal always is to keep everyone safe so that we can continue to do teaching and learning here. And wearing the masks allows us to return to what will feel like a more typical school year. So the students aren't daunted by it, and we certainly aren't either. I think obviously everybody would love to go to a time where we don't need them anymore. We're not quite there yet. So this is how we're going to keep on doing school, remembering how well we did it last year. In terms of the dress code, much more information can be found on the web pages and through the email that was sent last Friday. One big change from last year is that students will be changing into PE clothes this year. They did not do that last year. And thank you so much to the 3 people who included their question in our form about the PE shorts. We are very sorry. We had a leftover note from an old document, and that was put on our supplies lists that we posted in May. We changed them yesterday. I went down to the Sokol store and confirmed that there are indeed no Wellington athletic shorts for sale there right now. So our PE department has said that any kind or color of athletic short that still is mid-thigh in length is fine for PE. We'll continue to wear the Wellington shirts for PE, but I hope that clears up the confusion. Very sorry for that error. It was left over from before 2020. So here we are, moving on. Lockers. We are also going to return to using lockers how we have used them in the past. So students will store their backpacks, their cell phones, any academic and personal items that they don't need for a particular class period, and they'll have 5 minutes of passing time between classes, and we know that that's more than sufficient for them to visit their locker, to drop off an item, pick up something, and also to use the restroom. So we are excited to have students return to lockers, and as Kristen said, we can't wait to see them come in and decorate them. They love that. Trips. One person asked about the DC trip for their 7th grader. At this time, our overnight trips have been postponed until after winter break, looking toward the spring and always considering our options. But field trips and day trips are definitely happening. So we hope to be in touch with you about some of the opportunities we're planning for your students this fall, but nothing overnight yet. Supplies lists. If you would again, please look at the web pages for this. There are supplies listed that we are asking parents to provide for their students, and that's listed by grade level. However, you should know that if they look a little paltry, it's because we are supplying most of them here at school, and students will receive and set up those supplies during the first few days, during advisory time, so there's no need to worry if you're thinking, what, I'm not even buying pencils and spirals. You're right, you're not. We've done that already for you. Computers, similarly, 5th and 6th graders will receive their Chromebooks the first few days of school, and 7th and 8th graders should please bring their own devices on the first day. It's probably an expectation that teachers will be having them use them in some way. Let's see, water bottles. Please send a reusable water bottle with your student every day to school. To avoid unnecessary waste, we will not be supplying disposable plastic water bottles this year. We had a lot of that, and that was out of necessity last year, but we would really like to encourage that sustainable practice and take good care of our environment and at our campus too. Let's see, thanks Kristen. What's coming next? We are excited to welcome parents back into the building for our Parents' Night on September 2nd. That's a Thursday from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And that is a wonderful chance for you to go around and actually visit the classroom spaces where your student is learning and meeting the teachers in person and hearing a little bit from them about what that class will entail this year and what your students' experience is like. This is a picture of some of my 6th graders, last year's 6th graders, doing a little French disco dancing. And again, masks. We couldn't get up and move very much, but every once in a while I just recognized the need to boogie. So we did that. So Parents' Night is coming up. We encourage you to attend. We hope you'll join us. The best way possible for you to keep a close eye on what is happening here on campus and in the classrooms every week is through the weekly newsletter that you will receive on Fridays. This comes from a person on the grade level team, and it's a synopsis of what happened in the classroom that week and what's coming up next, both at the grade level and in the individual classroom spaces. This is truly the best way to have a peek at what's happening in your student's life, especially if they're not very forthcoming and sharing details with you. I'm not sure where you are in that whole trajectory. Also, it's normal. It's right on schedule. If they're not sharing much with you, that's okay. But we will. We'll make sure that we share that with you. So please read your weekly newsletters. And finally, we want to share with you something that we share with students all the time. These are what we call our middle school truths. We think that these are just great rules to live by, and we try to impart these ideals to our students. So we want them to be safe and to be kind and to take care of their business. And that means their lockers and their homework and their responsibilities, but it also means minding their own business and not getting into someone else's business unnecessarily. And above all, honesty is everything. So we really appreciate your partnership in helping our students find their purpose and realize their potential. That's the most important thing we can be doing in the business of teaching and learning. And we know that there will be peaks and valleys along the way, and each one of them has something to teach us. I think we can all agree on that. So please, as you have shared questions in the chat or the Q&A feature tonight with us, know that we will be in touch to respond to those as thoughtfully and promptly as we can, but continue to be in touch with us, continue to reach out to us, and we thank you very much for embarking on this exciting year with us tonight, by beginning with us tonight, and for spending this time with us this evening. So we look forward to seeing you very soon, whether it's at Back to School Sunday, Welcome to Wellington on August 22nd, or the 23rd or 24th, or perhaps Parents' Night on September 2nd. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Have a wonderful evening.